Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a full face of sustainable beauty products and beauty brands. I am really thrilled for today's video because in looking through my collection, I noticed that I actually have quite a bit of products that I would consider to be from sustainable brands or products that are leaning towards more sustainable packaging options. But I'm so excited. I actually have something for every single category. I have everything here, and we are going to hop right on into it in just a moment. But today's video is sponsored by a sustainable jewelry brand, which I'm so thrilled to share with you today. If you're not familiar, I am actually doing currently a year-long sponsorship with Ana Luisa Jewelry, the sponsor of today's video. Ana Luisa is a carbon neutral and water neutral jewelry brand. They create beautiful, high quality jewelry pieces. And today I wanted to share with you 3 of the pieces that I've recently received from them. The first 2 I have are these gorgeous earrings. They're not meant to be paired together, but I actually really like the way that the textures kind of work together. These large hoops here, or larger hoops out of the 2, are the Paris hoops, and I love that they are this like twisted rope kind of look. They just feel very luxurious and very chic and effortless, and I feel like the name Paris is just perfect to embody that. This is the Toda Mini, and these are something that I feel like is very special. They add a little bit of texture to a look as well as just a little bit of interest, even though they're not absolutely massive. They're not a statement piece in the sense of them being large, but they're a statement piece in their unique shape, form, and texture. They are 2 kind of interlacing hoops, and the second one of them is actually completely studded in gemstones here, which is just so beautiful. And this style actually comes in a wide variety of different gemstones, different sizes as well. Today I'm wearing the minis, but I definitely have my eyes on some of the other sizes and colors. There's ones with green stones, sky blue stones, and these ones are actually made with recycled sterling silver as well, and they are coated with gold. So that is another sustainable practice that Ana Luisa has implemented into their business. And the final piece that I want to share with you is this really unique piece that I am absolutely in love with. I'm really enamored with this gorgeous piece. This is the Aura bracelet. And as you can see, it's meant to look like a watch band, a traditional watch band. So it feels very luxurious, but I think it's a really edgy way to implement a little bit of texture again into a look and to bring a little bit of bling to a look as well. Because it is that kind of watch band style, it did come with some extra links as well. So it came with a few extra in case this doesn't end up fitting. And this is what those links look like. So you could definitely expand this if it doesn't fit on your wrist. I feel like the brand really is considerate when it comes to their packaging, their pieces themselves, and their business practices. And that is why I work with Ana Luisa and why I want to encourage you to, if you want to gift yourself or gift someone else any Ana Luisa pieces over the holiday season. I find a lot of their pieces feel very timeless. You can also find very trendy pieces, unique statement pieces, or staples for your collection. There really is something for everyone with Ana Luisa, and that is why I love to work with them. And so if you're interested in shopping Ana Luisa or checking out any of these pieces, it is all linked down in my description box of today's video. But thank you so much to Ana Luisa for sponsoring today's video, and to all of you for supporting me and allowing me opportunities like this to make interesting content on my channel and to bring more and more content to my channel as well. So yeah, let's hop on into a full face of sustainable beauty. So I'm gonna kick it off with some skin prep, and I'm gonna be using the Cocoa Kind Rosewater Toner. I have repurchased this many times. You've seen this in my empties several times if you keep up with that series on my channel. This is in a glass packaging, and my favorite thing about Cocoa Kind packaging in general is on the outer boxes, they show their sustainability facts. So they actually outline what the product packaging is made of, how to recycle it, and where it's produced, all of that kind of stuff, the carbon emissions of the product as well. And I just feel like that is just so considerate, it's so transparent, and it's something that I absolutely love to see. It's something that as a consumer, we should be more aware of. I'm just going to spray this all over my skin to kind of prep and rehydrate my skin because I did do my skincare a couple of hours ago. I love the fine mist on this. It feels like your skin gets, you know, moist but not saturated, and it just sprays very, very evenly. Whenever I use this more so as an actual toner after cleansing my skin, I do actually apply this to a cotton round and kind of work it into the skin a little bit more. And then for my lip prep, I'm going to be using my Attitude lip balm. This is the watermelon scent. This is a plastic-free alternative for lip balm, but it is very much your traditional kind of lip balm formula and super easy to use. It just doesn't have any plastic in the packaging. This is a fully cardboard packaging. Feels highly durable. It is something that I can throw into my backpack or purse, and I know that the lid isn't gonna come off, the product isn't gonna get squished and, you know, fall apart or disintegrate. All you have to do with this is you just kind of use your finger or your thumb to push up the product to get some of it visible to apply. And you can leave it like that and throw back on the lid, or you can just kind of push it back down, put the lid on, and you're good to go. I have a tinted sunscreen from them in the exact same packaging, just on a large scale, and I've used quite a lot. You can see just from the base like how much I've pushed up the product. All summer long, I was using the coconut version of the sunscreen version of this lip balm, and I think this packaging is just great. So durable, so easy to use, and again, plastic free. I think that's just amazing, and this product feels and smells just delightful. So I'm gonna kick off the makeup with my brows actually, and I'm using the WB Co soap brows. This is the original brow soap. This is the clear one. And although I wouldn't say that this brand is technically sustainable, this product in and of itself is something that I do feel like is a better sustainable alternative to things like brow gels in traditional plastic packaging. And so I wanted to feature it in today's video. This is a brow soap, and this will just last for a freaking eternity, just given that there's so much product in this package, and the package is actually tin as well. So I just feel like this is one of the better alternative kind of options out on the market, and definitely good value for your money as well. So in order to use this, you do need to kind of add some moisture to the product, and so I just have some water in this really old Smashbox primer water pump, and I'm just going to spray that into the package. And then the spoolie that it comes with, I actually glued it into the handle here, and then I put it on an angle. I just find that it's so much easier to get it into the package. And I work the product into the brush. I get quite a bit of product onto here. Then I just work this into the brows. I start on the very bottom of my brows and work it up. And the reason why I'm doing this step first is I find that this applies best to the skin as opposed to on top of like foundation or eyeshadow primer or anything that you might end up getting into your brows throughout the rest of your routine. It's best if this just kind of goes right onto bare, dry skin. And you can see the texture that that gives. It's super effective, and I feel like I can use this as a standalone brow product or in conjunction with other brow products. I feel like having this applied at first is also a really good way to kind of frame out what your eyeshadow look is gonna look like for the day, and it gives this time to really set down without being touched or budged if you do decide to apply something else. But overall, love the way that that makes my brows look, and I often overlook this, even though it's super easy to use. It's just something that I haven't really made a normal part of my routine, but I want to remedy that. One product category that I don't have something that I would consider to be sustainable is a eyeshadow primer. So I am just going to use the primer that I have on my eyelids today. Truly, the most sustainable thing that you can do with your beauty routine is use what you already have. And then we're gonna move on into setting that primer. So I have my Cheekbone Beauty. This is the Mattifying Moon Dust powder in the shade Translucent. I'm going to be applying this to set down that primer. This is such a great brand and such a great product as well. If you're not familiar with Cheekbone Beauty, they're an Indigenous owned Canadian brand, and they do have very much a focus on more sustainable packaging and ingredients, and this product is no exception. This product is in a tin package. It's just a very kind of basic packaging when you think about it, but that's what makes it so effective in my opinion. There is no like clasp, there is no, you know, plastic rim or anything like that. It's just pressed powder, translucent pressed powder inside of a tin. And I'm just going to work my brush into it and use that to set down that primer. And it is truly mattifying and truly translucent. At first it goes on maybe looking kind of a bit white, but as you blend it out, I feel like it's completely translucent. And the brand doesn't have any other shades, but they do use this on many models on their Instagram account, and it really seems to work for every skin tone from what I have seen. Moving on into eyeshadow, I have here my Mob Beauty custom palette. This is something that I did receive in PR, and Mob Beauty is a really special brand in my opinion. They are very, very innovative in their packaging style. As you can see here, this is a large, I guess it would be technically speaking a 6-pan or a 12-pan eyeshadow palette, but they also offer these medium sizes that are like the 4 to 8 pans as well. And what makes these great is that they're fully customizable. You can really pick and choose what products work for you, what you want to have in your palette. So I have a combination here of cheek kind of color as well as eyeshadow products, but then I have this other smaller palette as well that you could pop in any of these into, but I currently have some cream blushes rather in here. And then they also have a smaller size, which is 2 pans. And I currently have this paper one, actually fully compostable one from them that they're just sending out as kind of like a trial. But this actually could have 2 eyeshadows. You can see in the back here, you could use 2 eyeshadows in here, or you could put in 1 cheek product. So they're very modular. They're very easy to kind of mix and match as you so choose. If you use up something, you could replace just that 1 pan. And this way, instead of buying pre-made palettes that you might not use certain shades from, you can really be very specific to your own needs, your own wants. Like maybe you don't like to use bronzer. Maybe you just love eyeshadow. Then you can fill up an eyeshadow palette with blush and eyeshadow and have that for your everyday kind of wardrobe. And these are super easy to kind of pop out as well. Personally, I use the back of the eyeshadow or one of the cheek products to kind of help lift off this here. And then you could just pick and choose whatever you wanted to put in here. So you can just literally pop these out. And as you can see, it has these kind of slots here, and the piece just goes in there like a little Lego piece. And it's just so innovative. It's so smart. So I'm gonna go into this kind of peachy eyeshadow in the shade M5, and I'm going to be applying this into my crease to kind of start off my eye look today. A lot of the packaging components are made out of recycled materials and can be recycled even though they are black plastic. And black plastic, if you're not familiar, is generally not recycled, and it's not because the plastic itself can't be, it's the plastic cannot be picked up on regular recycling kind of infrastructure. So it usually just ends up getting diverted to trash. But Mob Beauty actually puts in, I don't know the technicality of it, and I don't understand the science whatsoever. There's actually some sort of chemical or composite or something that goes into the plastic when they're building their packaging, when they're making their packaging, that actually can get picked up on that technology in that infrastructure at recycling facilities. So it actually will be diverted with plastic. However, the goal is that you would reuse this almost endlessly and continually pop in your individual eyeshadow pans as opposed to wasting a bunch of plastic like this. And I think that that's just so well considered. And then to deepen up the crease, I'm gonna go into this shade M8. And for the majority of the eyes, I'm gonna use another Cheekbone Beauty product. This is the Sustain Eyes eyeshadow pencil. This one I have is in the shade Seafoam Green, which is a beautiful kind of aqua teal-y kind of shade. So gorgeous. I oftentimes wear this in the waterline, but this is actually meant to be an eyeshadow. So I am just going to draw it literally like directly onto my eyes today. And then I'm going to blend it out and use this as a base underneath of another eyeshadow from the Mob palette. I'm just gonna put this everywhere, but this is a really great matte cream eyeshadow formulation. Like I said, I love wearing it in the waterline and it lasts really well. It's super high impact in the waterline, but it is also great to use all over the lid. I love that this packaging is so minimal that it's just a wood pencil that you just sharpen and that's that. It's really that simple. And it just goes to show that simple packaging can be really effective. You don't need like a big plastic component that you twist up. You don't need it to be in a plastic pot or anything like that. It really can just be super effective and really easy to use this way too. I'm gonna hop back into my Mauve palette and I'm gonna use the shade M48. You can see I already have pan on that one. I use that in my Panless eyeshadows this year. I'm just gonna use my finger to apply that on top of that, to use the cheekbone product as more of a base to really allow this to adhere to it and to give it a little bit more impact and to lean a little bit more on the blue side as well, because M48 is a little bit more olivey, and I think that this will just offer a little bit of a brighter kind of look to it. I'm loving the way that these are pairing together, because as you can see on my finger, this looks very smoky, a little bit more grungy, but I feel like it just is so much brighter and more dimensional as well with that base underneath of it. Moving into my complexion, I'm going to be using another Cheekbone Beauty product. This is the Sustain Complexion Pencil. So you are able to use this as a foundation, as a highlight, as a concealer, as a contour or bronzer if you wish, depending on the shade that you purchase. I have the shade, I believe this is the shade 2, yeah, Fair 2. And this is perfect for me right now as an under eye concealer, and that's what I'm gonna be using it as today. I'm probably gonna use it to kind of spot touch up the remainder of my face, but I've been loving, as I've said in many videos, a very undone base look. So this will give that to me. This is very comparable to the eyeshadow pencil, as you can see. So it's a completely just sharpenable, minimal packaging option. And I am so here for that. With this, all you have to do is literally just draw it onto the skin. You could apply it to like the back of your hand and pick it up with a brush if you want, but I do feel like I get the best coverage applying this directly to the skin. And then you can use your finger to blend it out, or today I'm gonna use a brush to do so. You could use a sponge if you wanted as well. It really works with so many different application kind of options. And you can see just how easily this is blending into the skin and how amazing the coverage is, but it really does not look like cakey or makeup-y at all. And that's something that I've been wanting lately, is I've just been wanting bases that don't really look like I'm wearing a base. I think I'm going to use this to just kind of brighten up a few areas where I have some redness and some discoloration, mostly around my mouth, in between my brows. I did apply a little bit to my chin too, but it just blends so effortlessly. Now I am going to just set everything down with the exact same translucent powder that I used on my eyelids. So again, this is the Cheekbone Mattifying Moon Dust, and this is super effective at offering a little bit more of a natural matte look on the face and locking things down into place as well. And just to keep everything melded into the skin, I am going to use that Cocoa Kind spray again to just melt that powder. That spray is just so refreshing, and it is going to help out a little bit because I do want to use a cream blush today as well, and I have already put powder on my skin, but this will help to ensure that the cream blush kind of sits on the skin really nicely. So I'm going to use the Mauve Beauty Cream Clay blushes. I have actually 5 of them all together. I have 5 here, and I love this formula. Love, love, love this formula. Today I want to use the shade M70, which is this gorgeous little peachy kind of brown tone right here. This is my type of tone when it comes to blushes. And I'm just going to use my finger to work into the product and pick it up. I'm gonna kind of warm it up a little bit, and I have picked up quite a bit of it. I'm gonna apply this to the skin as well using my finger. I love this for the reason that it is kind of a bit more of a stiffer kind of formula, and I say that and it sounds so negative. Every single time I talk about this product, I say that. It sounds negative, but it's not. I mean it in the best way. The stiffness of it allows it to be a very uniform coverage, in my opinion, and it really does help it to kind of sheer out a little bit, and it means you need very little product, but it's super, super long lasting. It actually like locks into place in a way that a lot of cream and liquid formulations don't sometimes. Sometimes they can kind of slip around. Sometimes they can feel really tacky or dewy on the skin, but this really settles down, and I do think it's in part because of that clay. It makes it for a long wearing formulation. Something about this just looks like it's real skin. It doesn't look like it's sitting on your skin. It doesn't look like it's trying to create a texture that is artificial. It's just truly a beautiful thing, in my opinion. I love all of these colors. They all create kind of a different sort of look and feel on the skin, but particularly M70 is just the type of tone that I'm all about. I'm gonna apply a little bit of it onto the bridge of my nose as well to kind of create a uniform look across the face. And while I do not need to set this down in any way, shape, or form, because it does kind of lock into place, I am going to do so just for the sake of talking about another sustainable beauty brand, and that is ATHR Beauty. This is the Crystal Charged Cheek Palette in the Rose Quartz version. This is not a palette that is available anymore. However, ATHR Beauty is a brand that I did want to talk about because they do offer really minimal packaging, really high quality packaging, but it is very minimal and it's super easy to recycle. So this palette in particular comes in a paper packaging. It has only one single elastic, which is the only element that can be considered garbage in this packaging. The rest is fully recyclable. But their newer products, I believe, don't contain this. I think that they actually are just paper and metal. So the pans that the products are in are metal, but they're fully recyclable as well. This brand has so many products that I'm super, super interested in, especially the eyeshadow palettes, but just given the fact that I have so much in my collection, I haven't ventured past this product, but the performance of this is so great that I'm definitely interested in trying more. I'm gonna actually use this middle shade, which is called Compassion, and it is really similar to the blush that I'm wearing. And I'm gonna use this almost to create a little bit of like an ombre, not necessarily to completely set it, but almost sort of in a bronzer kind of placement towards the back of my cheeks to just amp up the blushy look and to tie it into that blush as well. I don't want to totally cover up that blush because I want you to see just the impact and the longevity of it, but I just want to kind of tie it all together. I really do love the other blush and the highlighter that's in here. This highlighter is so beautiful and frosty, but I am going to move back over to my Mob Beauty palette and use the highlighter from here. Although they're quite comparable, this one is more rose golden versus the other one's like more of an icy pink. This is the shade M49 from Mob, and I love this rose gold kind of tone and the way that it kind of tops my blush. So I'm just going to use it on the very outer portion of the upper part of my cheekbone here to create a little bit of a bounce back of the light, but not look too artificial or too over the top. It blends into the skin in a way that other powders don't. Like, it just buffs in and becomes very skin-like. I'm going into this mascara from Pacifica next. This is actually a repurchase for me. This is the Vegan Collagen Fluffy Lash Mascara, and I recently finished off a tube of this. I had purchased it in July, and so like by the time that early November came around, I was like, I should probably get rid of that just given to its age, and it was starting to feel a little bit more dry, and I decided to repurchase it. This is a glass tube mascara, which is something that you don't see very many of whatsoever on the market, especially accessible in the drugstore. When I was at Shoppers and I was looking for this as well as the Coco Kind product, I was kind of looking around to see what other sustainable items they had, and there are not many other options at all, if any, when it comes to drugstore makeup, at least at Shoppers Drug Mart. So it's really a big game changer to see this available. I just applied 2 coats of this to the upper lashes and 1 coat to the lower lashes, and as you can see, my lashes are very defined, separated, And one thing I will note with this formulation is it actually gets a little bit better with age. I remember on my first impression last time I had it, I liked the look of it. It definitely is super easy to apply and to build up, but I actually preferred it after like a week and a half, 2 weeks of using it because it did get a little bit drier, and so it was creating a little bit more volume as opposed to strictly separation and length. This component is fully glass, so what the actual mascara is contained in is glass. The lid is plastic and the wand is plastic as well. This is what the wand looks like. It is synthetic. Yes, this is plastic, so you would have to throw this into the trash, but I highly recommend, not only with this specific mascara wand, but with all mascara wands and even like brow gels, to donate them to Wands for Wildlife if you're at all able to just hold on to your mascara wands, give them a clean, and keep them until about April, May time, usually for Earth Day. For the entirety of the month, Wands for Wildlife does accept donations, and it's a great way to ensure that your product gets reused, it gets a second life, and that way it's not going right into the trash after only 3 months of use on your part. So that is something to keep in mind if you're not familiar with that service. It is phenomenal. Last year I donated like far too many mascara wands, like years worth of mascara wands, and it felt so good to ensure that they were getting used for a second lease on life. Now I am actually going to go back into the ATHR palette, and I do want to just apply the highlighter just to show you the impact of it. This is the shade Heart in this palette, and I'm going to apply this to the inner corner of my eye. Felt like I was doing a disservice by not showing the impact of this. As I said, this palette isn't available, but ATHR does have individual pans of highlighter, and if it's anything like this formulation, it is just glorious. Look at that. Look how freaking beautiful that is. Maybe I should put that a little bit on my brow bone too. And lastly, I'm going to apply a lip. I think it's going to take this look to like a totally different extreme, which I'm excited for. I'm going to apply my Mob Beauty cream lipstick. This is in the shade M60, and Mob Beauty, again, they just have amazing innovative packaging. The packaging on these lipsticks is no exception to that. You can actually just pop out the lipstick. There you go. You have the actual bullet packaging, you have the actual lip capsule here, and then you can pop in another lipstick. So I actually have a tinted lip balm here. This is in the shade M21. You pop it in, it's super secure in here, and then you can take around your lip balm instead of your lipstick if you want. And these do come with these plastic caps, so you can actually just store this in with your regular makeup collection or in your makeup bag if you wanted to, like this. But it does feel so much nicer to use more of a traditional kind of capsule. And then I'm just gonna pop back in my M60 to apply this to the lips. This is a stunning warm brown with a cream formula, so it really feels so comfortable. And it just glides on, and it's super high impact. This lipstick formula is incredibly creamy, very nourishing feeling on the lips, and very high impact. It also does seem to last quite a while on my lips and from my kind of experiences, but it doesn't feel tight, it doesn't look dry, it looks very, very nice on the lips too, in my opinion. And yeah, that is everything for the full face of sustainable beauty. These are all sustainable brands and products that I love and use very regularly. Other than the Pacifica tube being a brand new version, these are all things that I've used for quite some time. I had initially been considering purchasing some new products to do a video or a series like this, but like I said in the video talking about the primer, the most sustainable thing that you can do is to use what you already have. And so moving forward, as I bring new things into my collection to replace other products, I am going to try to purchase more sustainable products. So let me know down in the comment section of today's video some sustainable brands that maybe you're interested in trying, that maybe I should try out, that you would love to hear my opinions on, or products that you have tried and you know and love and that you highly recommend. But that is everything for this full face of sustainable beauty. I hope that you enjoyed. A quick reminder that today's video was sponsored by Ana Luisa, so definitely go and check out the description box to visit my link to shop Ana Luisa to check out these pieces and so many more. Thank you so much to all of you for opportunities like this to be available on my platform, to be available to me. It really is something that I'm so grateful for. But that is a wrap on today's video. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone.
Pepper, what are you doing? Ah.